Hope everyone is okay. So let's get started. It's 7 o'clock GMT here. So why don't we start with Bitcoin? I think everyone, or at least everyone, would hear what's Bitcoin doing. We see Bitcoin actually impulse up in the latest kind of price action. So what do we take from all this from the market? Well, I mentioned when the price was in this area, I was looking for something that's a bigger structure, bigger correction. So uh, looking back at what it is, nevertheless, it is a correction to go. I was just expecting something bigger, but you gotta take as what the market is telling you. So we had a strong breakout, which is good. And usually people are looking at these psychological level of 20,000 or whatever. I just put in here just for that purpose. We know that we broke all-time top on the daily, right? On a higher time frame, this was all-time top, and price break it above it impulsively. This is very good from a bullish price action point of view. So what do I see from this? Well, I see, a couple scenarios, but the likely scenario I want to see is a continuation structure, a continuation correction. So can we get a continuation here? Very likely, very possible. I don't expect it to just shoot up now, right? We break some level, we're likely to get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more volatility in the market. We're likely to see price corrects a little bit, but this is good for if we get that price correction here, then I think a lot of us would be looking for an easy buy here. That's one option. Another option is because of the volatility, because of a lot of people jumping, maybe there's, selling possibility from a point of view, and we might just get a bigger consolidation of the price. But what it is just forming a bigger continuation here above this level, and then price is just, correctly moving down, correctly moving up, and then we just form a kind of a double bottom here, completing this structure, and we're just taking off from this point forward. So that's kind of what I kind of see the possible scenarios here in the upcoming days or week. I do like this is clearly a impulse, and we break pretty much all-time top and this kind of 20,000 level that people talk about. So a continuation price action here would be ideal for buying more of this. Morning, everyone. Good. So that's what I see on Bitcoin. Okay, so like I said, I wouldn't jump in to buy. I want to wait for something at least, something lower time frame correction, because this is just pretty sharp move here. If we just zoom in on the lower time frame, if you see how fast price pretty much impulse up here, $2,800 or so, pretty crazy push in the day. Usually we should get a little bit of at least some sort of correction like this, right? Something that's going to tell you that this move will continue, and we can further get in on the buy. All right. So jumping to Ripple, because Ripple is looking really clean as well. I talked about Ripple a while back when price was all the way here. It was managed to get in this buy. This buy was short-lived. But anyways, looking at what the price it is now, it's very clear that we had all this, bullish kind of price action. We pushed the price up, and all this is just correctional structure, correctional trades in the market, and seeing this in a descending channel, and then kind of more of a descending channel pushing the price down. So all this is good. We see this strong bullish push from the lower time frame, and a correction here. Like I said, most of my entry correction after breakout of this kind of a higher time frame structure is ideal. Continuation here would be build up some momentum, and then pushing up the price to the previous top area. Okay, so definitely looking at this one, Bitcoin as well. Do like the price action here. This is all this consolidation phase. We finished correcting itself. We had this bullish, strong impulse in the market. So confirmation now is just a continuation correction to go. Any question, guys? Just let me know. I'm just gonna continue. So LTC here. What I like about it, if we just zoom out here, we clearly see that this potential impulse is completing its correction. we had at least two swing highs and two swing lows, so kind of a pendant expanding structure that I'm talking about. And lower time frame here, we had this kind of push down and then reverse impulse up, followed by a continuation correction. And we're pushing out of this structure as well. And as I always say, don't just jump in when price just breaks some structures or trend lines, whatever, right? You want to see uh, bullish price action. So the bullish price action here is a continuation correction here. So even if it breaks out here, it doesn't make sense to jump into here. Just waiting to see what the price will do in the upcoming day. Let it correct itself. Likely all the other ones will correct, and we could be seeing just continuation afterwards. Uh, just point out these three because they look the best in my eye. There's certainly other crypto that may or have that bullish kind of opportunity as well. But Bitcoin and Ripple and Litecoin is my favorite for the ones to choose if I was going to. All right. Ethereum is okay. Ethereum is okay. Similar like Bitcoin, right? We had this kind of breakout from the structure, and then continuation, we push up a correction here. Yeah, same idea. In my opinion, if they're all gonna continue, they're all gonna continue anyway, so it's really irrelevant. Just personally choosing the best one to go to, right? The best possible ones to enter is I wouldn't enter all of them anyways because they're likely to move together. So Ethereum was okay when in this area. I remember when we were talking about in this area. After that, didn't get any of the chance to catch any of these. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see up and up another other crypto as well. Okay, so that's all crypto, guys. Any question? Let me know. I'm just gonna jump quickly to commodity, and I'll jump to indices and currency at the end. Haven't done a London session outlook for a while. Not sure how everyone's doing. I've been doing them in the Asian session and uh, the New York sessions. So hopefully more to come in London times as long as I can make it. So looking at natural gas, I like natural gas. Talk about this in one of the posts made earlier. Uh, was looking at this to put the price down all the way to the bottom of this structure here, and then just kind of see what will happen if we can get bullish continuation to the top side. Okay, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Uh, Potential correction entry here, but I would be more inclined to wait for a breakout here and then continue would be nicer. Um, the overall price action is nice in my opinion. We had clear kind of push up, correction, likely to get another push up. So natural gas, sugar. I was keeping an eye on this one. Remember I talked about buy over here was just short-lived in this area, but now could be forming another continuation. We see price is correcting in this area, which is good. This is all bullish price action as well. So can we reach the previous high before the COVID time? This is pretty much the next or main target in my opinion for a next bearish push up, a bullish push up. I'm sorry, looking for a bullish opportunity to the upside. This is pretty clean because we have an impulse correction. We have another impulse correction. Then we're having a long impulse. This can be just a long correction and looking for the next impulse. All right. It takes all this price action to be in this kind of a consolidation correction period to push up, and it takes this short amount of time for COVID to happen and drop, right? So let's continue. This one, I'll keep an eye on this. I do like the overall price action. So to see how the structure will do in the upcoming days. Is it going to break out from here and then lower time frame correction? This will be nice to continue. So keep an eye on this one. Gold really quick. I know it's on people's mind on gold. Not really seeing much. I've been talking about gold when it's all this correction price action. I mentioned we likely to see just bigger consolidation like previous correction now because of this strong bearish move that we just see in the market. So is this going to see something happen? Well, this latest kind of price is a little bit choppy, right? People talking about the head and shoulder. That's why I mentioned it's not big of a correction to correct all this move. I'd rather see something that is little bit sizer in a structure formation, something that's a little bit swing highs and swing lows. So waiting to just see what will happen in this area. I don't see really any buys or sell at this point. And silver, talk about this, just see the prices crawling up to the top, and that's to my liking. I've been kind of talking about this since, prices in this area. I wasn't interested in the sell in this. I was more interested if price just kind of trickles up to the top of the structure, completing this overall longer parallel kind of channel structure for all this move, and we could potentially see the next bearish move on the silver. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on this one as well. May shape up in closer to the end of the week or maybe next week. But it's just that I like this kind of overall price action. We know every time price is at the top, we see this kind of impulse correction push down, impulse correction push down. So if we see the same thing, we kind of have a reverse impulse correction, then this could be the next bearish move from the market to complete this structure. Okay, so that's silver. Any question? If not, I'll start with a few indices. Hey, good morning. Yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning, Colin. So, down, what do we see from Dow Jones? Well, nothing has changed, guys, and I'm just happy to be waiting. There's nothing to be fear of missing or anything like that, guys. We're just in this consolidation. We're still in this correction. Nothing has changed for weeks now, right? So it's very good when you see prices consolidated because you know that price is just really getting ready for the next push. Okay, and it's good that this can obviously could still be a bullish continuation correction, but you know, as it corrects more and more and more, the better for us to be looking for the sell because of where the price is, because how the price gets in there in this overall area. To me, this overall structure here is a corrective phrase. We're right back at the previous top once again. Can this is going to be continuation? No, it's really, to me, it doesn't seem like we had this big kind of a correction already. Impulse correction, impulse. Technically, we supposed to see this move continue. All right, and we're not seeing that from the market. We're just pretty much seeing a longer piece of consolidation, right? This structure here is still correcting, is still correcting. Who knows how long, how far, how deep this can go? But the point is, as long as we see correction here, there's no need to be, there's no need to jump into the markets or anything. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Is don't jump into these kind of markets. Just let it correct, let it consolidate, right? And if something happens, we're going to see it from a price action point of view, anyways, on the lower time frame, and we're not going to miss the entry, right? We're going to see that first bearish push down, first bearish correction, and then looking for the sell. Okay, so don't jump into the gun, guys. Don't get trapped in here, as I say, right? You don't want to lose money when it's in this consolidation and you're just getting trapped in the market. All right. So jumping S&P 500, yeah, still at the top of the correction, right? We see this kind of a rising wedge pattern. We're squeezing, we're correcting. We kind of had this push down, and then I was kind of waiting for, is there going to be continuation correction to push down? Instead, we're just forming more of a ascending channel formation now. Can this correct continue, hit this from the previous top, or pretty much all-time top in that matter? We're in this overall structure now. So can we get some reversal price action, right? I'm not interested in the buy. There's really, to me, there's really no buy here unless we see price just impulsively break up from this point, like Bitcoin or something like that, right? We break up and then we form correction. That's going to change how I see it. But for now, all this is kind of very consolidation, very corrected price action. So that's why it's patient to just wait, patient to wait what the market is doing, just let it correct itself, right? There's no point trying to guess where it's going to. Better off to just hold on to the capital, right? Talk about this Singapore 30 last stream. Like the overall price, we had this bearish push down clearly from COVID, and this is forming a good larger size continuation correction, and we see lower time frame is a bit kind of bearish push down and followed by a potential continuation. So can this move continue downwards? Very possible. Okay, so waiting for this correction is key here, and likely all these indices may catch up to this point, and then we could see more bearish move on the market. Nasdaq. So as you continue to climb up, right? And how can we take from this? Well, let's see what happened in this area. This is the all-time top right now. We're seeing the structure here. We had this push down, and I was kind of seeing, can we see continuation? Can we see push down more from it? Instead, we didn't see that. We didn't see price just consolidate here, and then it started forming this corrective structure to push the price up. So that's why it's not as favorable in my opinion compared to two other ones. But what we can see from the market when New York opens, what's going to happen here? Can this continue to correct itself correctively, and then just waiting for a strong push down from the market? That could be the first signal for the sell. We're forming this M style pattern that I mentioned a few times. It's a close recent top kind of pattern, and then potentially a reversal structure to push the price down. Again, I don't see much will move here except or during London session will probably be a New York session. So waiting for that to happen and see what will happen, what the market will do. All right. So that's pretty much all the indices I'm looking at. These a couple other ones, not much has moved. So and I talk about those in the weekly ones. So feel free to watch those. So should we take a look at what's happening in currency now, guys? Any question, guys, with these indices before I go to currency though? Why are my red candles up? So confusing. Just preference, Sean. You can change them. I periodically change them because I like visual things, you know, because you look at things too much and sometimes it's good for a change. So that's just me personally, though. Is the stimulus going to affect movement of US 30? Possible, right? News event likely can stir some volatility in the market. So far, nothing is ready yet. Exactly, Joy. I wouldn't jump on the gun like that. Yeah, I would wait for better confirmation because as traders, we need to. That's what we do, right? We follow our plans. Oh, by the way, guys, is the string quality good? I just want to make sure for the charts. Is this clear? Do you guys see the chart okay if I zoom in and zoom out? And then is that okay from you guys' point of view? Just want to hear right now from you guys, please. Thank you. Yeah, because I've been hearing that from the last stream I did, right, guys? I'm not sure it's because I use TradingView TradingView desktop, which is the one I used for the last stream. I don't know if that has to do with anything to it, but it did make me slightly faster. But if that's causing problems to stream, then obviously I'll go back to the web version, which is what I'm doing right now, right? So if the quality is good, that's good. I like to hear that. So thank you. Um, so let's continue. What package do you have for TradingView? I have the premium package, the premium package. But I don't really think, you know, if you're starting out or if you're new or you don't really need the premium to be honest. I think even with pro or even if just the regular free one, it's fine. At least the way how I analyze the market, you don't really need any of the indicators. You don't really need anything like that. So, all right, so let's continue. So let's continue. So dollar index, so we see that kind of correction here, right? So does that confirm us for the bearish move now? Yeah, possibly, you know. So this is kind of how we're seeing now, right? And we have to understand what the market is telling us. We had all this bearish move, we had this kind of overall structure. Price is pushing down now and looking like this is a continuation correction for this move, and it's a very short one, and then we start seeing price move down more after that. So is that kind of continuation all the way down now? Well, let's take a look at the higher time frame. If we just kind of zoom out here, we're approaching kind of previous low now, right? Because we already kind of impulse down, we had a correction, and we're impulse down. Are we just gonna start dropping down more and more now? Very likely now, because we see the breakout, we see the small correction. So keep in mind that this is kind of what the market is telling us now, right? We originally kind of see what the market will do at previous bottom here. Is it going to reverse? Nothing happened, right? Nothing happened, but it's the same thing as we have to see the market as it is, right? We can't just uh, make guesses or sell. We have to base on some sort of analysis and you follow it. And if things doesn't if things change, things evolve, and we have to take it as it is, right? So how I see what the most of the dollars now, let's go over a few dollars I want to talk about because they're at this kind of area now and something can happen, something cannot. And let's look at this. See, for Aussie dollar here, we're getting really strong momentum. We had this potential continuation, right? And we had this push up and then continuation structure, and we're pushing up more and more now and looking like very strong momentum. We're pushing out potentially here on the lower time frame. So how do you take on all this? Well, is this going to be the bullish move continue out? Well, let's look at the higher time frame once again. We break kind of a previous high. This was also a reason kind of double top high. Supposedly we see this ascending channel and then price never break down. And then we continue to push up now. So is this likely to continue push up more and more now? Possibly now, right? Because this is the next previous high now and we're very close to it. So certainly, I didn't get into any of these entries because I'm in one of the Aussie pair. But personally, I was more looking for the price to develop some sort of bearish move, breaking down from the structure and then go like this. But it didn't happen, right? And that's why you follow your plan when it comes to entries and things like that. If I was looking for a sell when I see structure like this could be a reversal as well, and I want to see price break below this structure here and then continue lower like this, right? But if that didn't happen, then for sure no entry for me, right? So this is where it is now, guys. So let's jump into a few other dollar pairs. Kiwi dollar, can this still work out? Potentially, maybe. We talk about how price is consolidating here, and agree that many traders likely to get a lot of break even or lose money during this consolidation as price continue to move up. With most of us likely to looking for a short opportunity, even though if they're not really valid or if they're not really presentable, but because of the majority people or what you see, that may have affected of that, right? I got some of the messages saying that, uh, they see people with these analysis and then they try to jump the gun and they realize it afterwards, things like that. So how we see this now? Well, if just excluding all this consolidation, then what we see is prices in this larger potential correction that could be just expanding more and more and more. How do we take from this? Well, don't jump in the gun. Don't looking for any 5 minute bearish move down and then looking for flags or whatever like that. We're looking for continuation corrections. I think the key here is we see a lot of volatility. You see this push down, and then this is I think during the FOMC meetings and all that stuff, and then price reverse from that afterwards. So this is all very volatile kind of movement. Don't get stuck into this area, right? Uh, unless we see bearish confirmation, right, bearish move from the market, that's only going to be confirmation for you. Otherwise, don't jump into the trade, right? There's really no buy here now. I don't see buys. Aussie dollar could have been a buy for that structure, but I don't see Kiwi dollar here. So Let's go euro dollar. This can be interesting. So euro dollar again, we saw dollar index being pretty bearish. So euro dollar likely to be bullish. But what I'm seeing here, just this last bit of kind of price action structures and keep me kind of just on a little bit of secondary watch, going to see what we're likely to do. We had this kind of bullish potential opportunity, impulse correction, supposedly be a impulsive move after that, but this is somewhat corrective. This is somewhat in the channels anyway, and we're potentially forming a reversal. But of course, that's not enough to confirm anything, right? We want to wait for confirmation breakout, confirmation correction. That's kind of always what I talk about in my analysis. Is just even though you do have a bias, or I do have a bias in that potential sell, I'm not just gonna jump into any sells when I see some high tests or long pin bars or whatever. You gotta confirm it with lower time frame kind of price action. It just gives you a little bit more clarity, a little bit more confirmation. It saves you from entering these potential sells, right? Not interested in pound dollar. Dollar CAD. Yeah, I'll go over Swiss yen after. I'll go over all these ones. I'll go over the ones on green. So dollar CAD overall could be still correcting in this correction. So I'll just keep it on secondary watches to see what we'll do in this area. Let's see what will happen kind of as the price form in this correction. Can it form a deeper correction? And then we break off on there, followed by another correction. That's the only way kind of how I see. If not, just see what we'll do. This is going to just start trickling down more and more now, or is it going to form a little bit deeper correction and then we're still going down? And kind of similar like dollar Swiss, we're in this kind of descending channel. Most of these dollar pairs are still in this channel, still kind of holding. In my phrase, it's just kind of holding the correction. So that's why I'm still keeping an eye on it, right? It's not discounting all of them yet. We break down from the structure, and then we form a descending channel structure, and then just waiting for the confirmation breakout from their points. Okay, so I will go over a few other dollar pair because they all kind of look similar in that sense. So dollar Singapore dollar, pretty much just same idea. Descending channel, and we're at this kind of previous low level, and then can there still be a correction here? Well, let's just see what will happen. In the London session or New York session, can we just correct itself a little bit more, or is this going to be a reversal? Continuation now, continue for this move, and then we're going down more and more and more. Right, dollars are same idea. Uh, can this correction hold? Can we see a little bit more development from the market and then continue upwards? Right, these are all just kind of secondary watches for me. I like the structure, but I also understand what is happening to the dollars, and I understand obviously uh, needed more confirmation before I consider anything here. Okay, uh, yeah, dollar Mexican. Yeah, I was in this trade. I took a loss here. Um, was looking for a continuation here. We break all the price and then we form a continuation. This was my entry. Let me see if I still have it. So this was my entry. I enter at a breakout here, and then we're looking at this to form something continue to upwards, but it did not. So we just kind of dropped down from this point forwards. I think this was during New York session as well. Pretty strong momentum here on the lower time frame. So just take me off for a loss here. But happy to take a trade here, to be honest. Happy to take a loss here because I like the structure overall. We are overextended. We had this larger structure in the market, and then price pretty much formed this wedge or switch descending channel. We had this push up on the lower time frame, and then clean continuation correction, and we did have the price push up. So looking back at it when I do my journals, I'm totally fine with this trade. How I see it now though, well, because we break up and we didn't break the low, it does not mean that this structure is evolving. It could be something like this. Okay, the structure would just evolve into more of a descending channel on a higher time frame now. And can this correct itself more and more and more down like this and then form kind of a double bottom here? And then reversal descending channel, and then we push the price up like this. That's kind of how I see it now. Okay, but still needs a little bit more time to pretty much work towards that. Okay. So let's move on to other things. So I do want to talk about a few of the Aussie ones, kind of see what it is, what's going on. So Aussie Swiss, I was talking about this kind of expanding structure. Can the price hold in this area and then have some reversal opportunity before I consider something like this? Otherwise, this could be just a breakout, probably a continuation for all this, and we might just be breaking off from here moving forward, and all this price action becomes continuation. Right? So this is kind of an area where we should watch out for, and really key to see what the price will do in this area. So Aussie Swiss. So if you follow me, I took a Aussie Swiss second trade here. I got off for break even. I think I updated that in my group. Um, so this was the second trade I did. Pretty much just tagged me out here. Well, it will tag me out here again. So it doesn't matter. Looking back at it, I'm perfectly fine entering the trade like this and take a breakout. And then as a trade breakout on a larger continuation, just set it for break even. Right, that's always in my plan. So happy the way how it went out. So I'm just in one of these trade now. Um, Looking okay. I set my stop loss at 2%. So very happy with what's going on. We're just gonna see what the price will do. Like first main target here, about 5.8 to 1. All right, so I've been talking about this throughout, so just make sure you watch all these videos. I'm still just waiting to see what the price will do in this area. Can it continue moving upwards? If we can impulsively break the previous high, then I will hold the trade looking for more continuation. Cat yen is also a trade I'm in. I want to talk about this slightly quickly. Entered this one. It's pretty. I talk about this very simple, right? Right shoulder here. Um, as the trade was here, and I talk about if it continue going up, then I'm not interested. But we are still maintaining in that correction. So happy to pretty much enter this entry order I said before I sleep, and then let's just see what happen. We'll do this area. Can we get kind of a continuation here, and then we see price dropping down more and more and more. That's what I prefer to see from the market. Pretty nice uh, risk reward in my opinion, down to just even previous low of this correction, five about 5 to 1 or so with very sizable stop loss. You can probably even get tighter stop loss than me, but I'm fine with this. I'm fine with the overall price condition. We have a double top here, and then we have clean ascending channel, and then we have this head and shoulder pattern dropping down. Everything looks to me is pretty clean. So everything is good for just continuation. So I'm happy to see what the price would do in this area, and then look to see what will happen. Okay. Did I already do silver? Yeah, I did. Not really interesting in silver. Just pretty much waiting for price to push up to the top. That's what I want to see, and then form some sort of reversal, like something like this or something like this. That's what I would look for a sell from silver. Other than that, just leave it as it is. Swiss yen, right? Swiss yen, I'm still very interested. But because I'm in cat yen, so I'm not likely to get in one of these Swiss yens. I mean, another yen, I meant, just in my plan now. Uh, but overall structure, I like how we're in the structure here. We had this kind of swing top. We had a double top, in fact, ascending channel, push down, and then kind of a lower time frame correction is a little bit more slanted. But this is a little bit corrective. I don't really like that. I wanted to see a more breakout from the price, and then like a breakout like this, and then continue downwards more. But we'll see what happens in this area. I still like the higher time frame for a potential sell. to the bottom. Okay, reversal from the top in this area. That's kind of how I see. Not interested in euro yen as much. I know someone asked me about euro yen. Because we didn't hit the previous top yet, and this is still can be a continuation correction, and that's why I'm more hesitant to be in touch with euro yen or anything. Uh, can this correct itself a little bit more for me, something like this? That would be more better because right now this looks like it can continue a little bit longer or upward, I mean, and then still reverse from the bottom. I think yeah. I think someone asked me about Kiwi yen, but um, personally, I'm not seeing too much from either. I think you were talking about a wedge or a flag. I forgot. But because we're at the top of the overall price action, I kind of don't see a wedge or a flat or falling wedge, so to speak. Falling wedge would at least I would prefer seeing falling wedge or at the bottom of the price action for the reversal because we tend to see wedge reverse at the price at the bottom, right? That's kind of how I want to see. Um, but if it's at the top, sometimes sometimes it might not work as well. But of course, don't quote me on this because I'm not seeing too much of a buy or a sell at the moment. Yes, sell because what may be previous top, and I mentioned about ascending kind of structure, but because all this is somewhat corrective, I didn't like all this consolidation that didn't go down. And like you said, this is can be a continuation here. That's why I'm happy to stay off of this. Okay, I think especially if I'm already in one of the yen pairs, I'm happy to just be on the sideline and then see what will happen. A little bit more price development that will confirm a bias of a buy or sell. Let's continue. Let's continue. Euro Aussie. Someone asked me about Euro Aussie. Very similar like Aussie Swiss. Like is this a continuation or a reversal, right? We zoom out here, we're at the bottom of the structure now, and we're originally looking at this as a double bottom potentially, but is this a double bottom or are we going to get a impulse larger correction push out? If in fact if we zoom out, this is the higher time frame impulse, higher time frame correction, and then lower time frame breakout. It's just very hard to be telling at this point, and this is why we shouldn't jump into any of these because all this is corrective, that's for sure. But it's you can't be 100% sure that this is going to be move pushing out, right? And you also cannot be sure this is the move to be coming out because really both American work, and this is why we don't need to guess ourselves. Okay, how I see it is if this is going to be the post night breakout, then let it break out completely impulsively, and then for continuation. It's always going to for continuation. That's how price move, guys. And if this is going to be reversal, then you want to see a little bit more reversal price action. Right? You want to see price break all of this structure here, and then continue upwards. Right? And that's pretty much same as Euro Kiwi. So I brought my attention to Euro Kiwi as well because they were in the buy, and then they're wondering should I hold it or not. I personally got the buy already, but what I'm seeing here is this could be continuation. Okay, this is a little bit more clear than Euro Aussie because we had this descending channel, we had this lower time frame impulse, and then lower time frame correction here. This looks like a flag pattern, and but this price action is somewhat choppy to my eye. I would prefer uh, something a little bit more straight up. You see how we had a push up and then push down once more, push up and then push down once more. So I don't really like that kind of price action. That's why it's not really on my watch anymore because I want to see impulsive phrase. I really don't like when prices in the corrective phrase, and so to speak, I don't want to be trading when the price is in the corrective phrase. Okay, because that's when you're likely to get tagged out. That's what you likely to be emotional when they enter trades or exit trades. You're likely to get very frustrated with the price. Okay, so Kiwi Cat. I want to talk about Kiwi Cat for a bit because I still very much like Kiwi Cat price action. Those of you new, enter a trade here. Got out about 3.5 or so if I recall. And we're potentially completing this structure where we have all the swing highs and swing lows. This is definition of a continuation. We had this impulse correction. Can we get the next impulse? Excuse me. Um, I really want to see is, can the price in this latest lower time frame form something that could give me a little bit more confluence? What I mean by that is this going to be kind of push up to a double top and then push down followed by a correction? So a double top here and then continuation, or we get continuation here, or whatever it is. But I want to see bearish kind of price action. Right now, all I'm seeing is potential rejection, and this is what I'm saying. I won't jump into just a candlestick yet. I want to see a little bit more price action develop, like a reversal and then reversal continuation follow after that on the lower time frame. Okay, so I still very like Kiwi Cat's price action. I like this overall structure. We could really be seeing the next bearish move from the market, and I want to be able to capture that. Last one to go over here is Kiwi Swiss. Similar like Euro Kiwi, as we know, we had this bearish push down, and this could be a bearish flag continuation, and we could push down lower. And if we just zoom out here a little bit, um, this is kind of before when the COVID drop, if I recall. This is February-ish, yeah. And then previous kind of reason double top, where the overall kind of price condition. This can be a head and shoulder pattern that we're developing, and right shoulder here. So slightly better price action, slightly to me in than Euro Kiwi. If I have to choose two, I'd probably choose Kiwi Swiss, just to see what the price would do in this area. Are we going to trickle up once more to the top of this correction, and then bearish opportunity? This could be a sell like this, right? And potentially pushing down the price all the way to the down. Okay, so that's Kiwi Swiss, and I think that's everything. I have everything on my watch list. Crypto we went over, commodity, indices, and currency. Any question, guys? Any question on any of the pairs? How do I see Bitcoin? Yeah, I talked about this in the beginning. I can talk about it again. So Bitcoin, mentioned this in the beginning. Pretty simple. Is definitely seen as more bullish, but I wouldn't jump the gun, so to speak. I want to see correctional structure, correctional price action. We impulsively break up, very good. I want to see continuation correction with either a flag or a pennant or triangle or whatever channel, whatever it is, a continuation structure that should develop here, and we can take the trade upside more and more and more. Okay, or can we see a deeper correction, something like this, something that I want to see that, because during this time likely a lot of volatility, price just continued up and down for a little bit, forming a larger, deeper structure, and then we still take off from afterwards. That's how I see on Bitcoin. I just wouldn't jump in the gun because it's just unlikely price just continue in a straight line afterwards. Okay, it's just it has to correct, right? We see correction over and over again. It doesn't matter which market we see. It's just going to correct itself before the next up move, whether big or small, whether what kind of structure it's going to be in. But that should be, the confirmation from the market. Do I see Bitcoin that could decrease under 20,000? Of course you could, right? Just pulling back or corrective price action, something like this, right? Something that's just slowly correcting itself down and then correcting itself before the up move. Right? Just forming a larger structure, that's all. A larger structure, something like that. But you're still upside afterwards. Pretty much trapping some, a lot of greedy traders in this area because they want to jump into this area and then, crash maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or so, and then, take them out, of course, and then price still continue afterwards. We've seen that over and over again sometimes, right? You see price push up, break the previous high or break the previous all-time high, and then people jump in the gun. You see how it crashed. It dropped down to a few thousand, tagging people their stop loss all, and then take off afterwards. So same thing can happen here before the next up move. Yeah, let's go over those. Mention Euro Yen not as my favorite because price is in this overall area, and then this can still be a continuation correction, continue upwards. Or even though I think sell would be much more preferred in this sense, like this can be a reversal structure, and then we push down, and then we continue more. That's kind of how I see if we're looking for a potential opportunity. This is pretty much the previous top, right? So see what price will react to this area and then reevaluate. Euro Kiwi mentioned this one. I said I would likely to choose Kiwi Swiss over Euro Kiwi if I have to pick the two, but because price is still in this overall kind of flag structure, a little bit choppy. I mentioned earlier, I didn't like that it could be very consolidated in this area. I'd rather see more impulsive raise to break out the structure. Otherwise, uh, not really interested. If you recall, I was in this trade. I was wanting to see this correction to continue, but it didn't, and then it dropped down to take me out of that trade. And I was thinking it might be for me a larger correction, which it did. So I'll be just waiting to see what will happen. Wait for correction to be over before potentially get back on something like this. Uh, Swiss yen? Did I not? Did I go over Swiss yen already? I did, right? Yeah. Any kind of question, guys? Happy to answer some questions. Just in two trades I mentioned, I mean Aussie Kiwi. So Aussie Kiwi here. Semi stop 2 to 1 here. Money about 3.5 or so. I can't count exactly, but looking to see what would do the previous top. And then if I can impulsively break all of it, I'll hold the position. I'll look for another scaling opportunity. Like I said, second scaling didn't work out, just pegged me out for break even. And then just holding the first trade, see what will happen from the price. And cat yen, I mean this one as well. Pretty clear left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We had this kind of flag structure. Just set an entry order. I went to sleep around I forgot when, but 4 o'clock. I was not around there if I recall. So, anyways, price is forming potentially another correction here. I would want to see a little bit more structure here to push down more and more and more, because I was expecting this bearish move to drop down more and be a little bit more sharp. But looks like we might form a correction here nevertheless. So we'll just be patient waiting. I didn't move my stop loss or anything yet. So I'll see what happens in this area and I will reevaluate as we go. Okay. I think that's about it, guys. No other question. Make sure you join me on my Telegram or YouTube so you can find out more information from me. I'll appreciate that. So the Telegram here, Aries Trading, my YouTube channel for all my playlists, all my educational content if you're interested on price action and trading psychology, things like that. Okay, and my page if you like trading view as well. Okay, so if no other question, I will end the stream here. This will be the last stream for the week, so I will host a weekly outlook next week on Monday or Sunday GMT, and then I'll see you guys then. And I'll make sure to do another trade recap videos on all the trade I took this week. I took Aussie Kiwi twice. I have CAD Yen on right now. I took a loss on Kiwi CAD, if you guys recall, in my group, and I took a loss on dollar peso as well. Okay, those are my trade for this week. I'll do a trade recap video at the end of the week as well, and then feel free to ask me questions on those. All right. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you guys watch the stream, and then hope to see you guys next time. All right. Thank you very much.